Oh, Mezzer on Torbjorn here is really having a fit inside of Spawn, I'll tell you. But yeah, I mean, sometimes the Genji play was inconsistent at times yesterday, and of course it's tough with the ping that Shadowbird is dealing with.
Yeah,
playing here. I mean, you're talking a projectile DPS.
And online, it's even with the ping, it's certainly going to be better than a long-range projectile DPS like Pharah tends to be. But here we go as they start reaching out to the point. FaZe Clan touching it first, positioning themselves on the outside of the temple here as Liquid coming in from the other side, and the shields are going to meet.
And there we go. Shadowburn's just getting the shurikens out. So far, not a whole lot. Just as I say that, though, Fact goes down to AZK, who's playing Tracer. He's going to be harassing these guys all over the place, getting a lot into Shadowburn as well, but he's able to get two himself, Shadowburn, and too easy, taking down Minstrel. So FaZe definitely with a numbers advantage here in this fight, and Shadowburn was just all over Mezzer, right behind him, just right-clicking for days. He had no idea. He was there, he's like, how am I taking all this damage? And it's going to be FaZe getting, or excuse me, it was Liquid getting the point first here, but FaZe do have a lot of bodies on it, and as soon as they get some kills, they should be able to take it back, I would suspect. And there will be, actually going to be an Earthshatter coming through. AZK and Forsaken both going down, and FaZe are actually starting to find the kills here. It's a lot of ultimates. It's the never-ending fight on top of that. Fact in the middle of everything, just swinging away and eventually going down. And now it's going to be FaZe starting to back off a little bit now, finally. That's one lasted for a while.
Well, Rafa keeping it under Liquid's control for quite a while as most of his team respawn, not getting taken down. And it's really unfortunate for FaZe. FaZe, however, will be working with 3 ultimates on their way back, and Liquid is really only going to have, well, I guess we'll call them 3 on their own. Minstrel's getting very close to a sound barrier of a self-destruct, and a Graviton. That's a big bang combo lying in wait for Liquid if they can land it.
Here we go, ID laying down that Graviton Surge. Got a few bodies inside of it. Zoms and AZK will trade out here, and the sound barrier for FaZe and Liquid actually both going to come through as the nano boost on Fact as he is just laying into him. He uses the Earthshatter to charge ID into the wall, who uses barrier last second to stay alive. Shadowburn's there, though, to clean up onto everybody, so it doesn't matter that Fact goes down, but he actually make it cleaned up here himself. Rafa's going to try and hold this point even longer for Liquid as he uses that self-destruct, zoning players off of the point, and Liquid's actually getting really close to 99%. Too Easy comes back in, getting the hook to take down AZK, and well, it's still Liquid here as Rafa is keeping himself alive. And Too Easy comes around, but Rafa will get the nano boost. Earthshatter out from Mezzer, taking bodies into the wall. Mezzer with 2 for himself, and it's not looking good for FaZe at the moment. Shadowburn was only able to find a kill onto Dahang, and besides that, FaZe has absolutely nothing. They're fully wiped off the face of this map. Team Liquid start off strong here. A sweep on the first point.
Player of the stage has got to go to Rafa. I mean, the entire time.
Yeah, he's always on the
keeping
point.
Everything under control, surviving incredibly long periods of time, chasing down Shadowburn a number of times, and right here you're going to see him picking up a nano, checking out AZK for just a moment. This is a handsome man.
Yeah, very, very handsome. And I mean, between Rafa and Mezzer, I mean, Rafa keeping himself alive, Mezzer had some huge earth shatters during that, and you have AZK to come around and clean up on some of the damage. But like you said, Rafa just kept himself alive for so long and buying time for his team to get back on the point. I remember at one time during that phase that I thought FaZe was easily going to be able to take the point. I thought they had the numbers there, but Rafa was able to just delay, and they take that first stage. A full sweep for them, so it is 1-0 for Liquid on Nepal as we now head onto our next stage of this one. AZK already starting to harass some of the supports in the back here. He's on Forsaken. Just being a nuisance, really, at the moment. Just alternating between Forsaken and Raucus. He's really just back here by himself. No kills as of yet. As I say that, Too Easy finishes off AZK. They've traded those. Too Easy goes down. So it's a 5v5 fight at the moment. Shadowburn still staying on that Genji, at least for the time being, and he is very hurt himself. Mezzer and Forsaken are both taken down. I heard an Earthshatter come out from somebody. I believe that was Fact that laid that one down. And Minstrel and Dahang will fall on the... Well, there was a nano boost onto ID, and they just keep going back and forth. A lot of ults used, but FaZe in the end will come out on top of the point.
That rewind for AZK, I do not think he expected to land back in the middle of the tanks. I mean, he was only there for a moment, 4 seconds before, but sometimes that's the way the rewind lands. You can end up in some really precarious positions sometimes over a cliff or just in a very bad spot if you don't time it perfectly. Team Liquid coming back onto the second stage here with 3 ultimates on their side, locked and loaded. FaZe Clan's not going to give him a time.
ID using the Graviton Surge. Is there going to be follow-up around? There is Dragon Blade used by Shadowburn. AZK took down too easy. Shadowburn melts ID, gets Minstrel as well. He was quickly dispatched of after that. Dehang, AZK, and Mez are all able to find some. FaZe is down 3 players in this fight, and Liquid, they're going to be down 2 as the respawns start to come through. Those Zombs is getting melted quite quickly. That self-destruct from Rafa finishes off Zombs and Forsaken, so it will be Liquid finally gaining control of the point here.
And FaZe Clan, they'll be coming back with an Earth Shatter and a Sound Barrier. That will be enough for them to take it back, given how much Team Liquid has. But if Team Liquid is able to get that nano boost onto Rafa, and Rafa's playing the way that, or play the way that he played in the last point, that's also enough for Team Liquid to shut everything down, and they're getting very close here. Generating a nano boost, a sound barrier, a pulse bomb, never mind, they're going to have a ton on the table.
Oh, big Earth Shatter coming down from Fact Fiction. It's going to put a lot of people on the ground, and they do follow up on a couple of them, but they're trading back and forth. That nano boost was given to Rafa, who was able to make good use of it, finding 2 for himself, and now Rafa's going to be trying to hunt down Shadowburn, who is hanging on just barely, and there he goes, right back to the respawn queue with you. And it is still Liquid all over this point. Fact Fiction is just going to back off and meet up with the rest of the team, and Liquid now have changed the tides and taken the lead on this stage.
And Ultimate Economy starting to slip into the favor of FaZe Clan, though both of them have quite a bit. 3 on the side of Team Liquid, basically 5 on the side of FaZe.
Well, there will be another Earth Shatter out. This time it will come from Mezer. Him and ID will open it up for Team Liquid, and it seems as though FaZe are just dropping like flies at the moment. 4, 5 of their players are down, a couple of them deciding to just go for the reset here because they do have time for one last fight, and they're going to have some ultimates to do it. I mean, you're going to have a Nano Blade, a Sound Barrier, as well as a Whole Hog, and even a Graviton, so a lot to work with for FaZe on this fight.
And I'm sure in that kind of mess, Factor Fiction can probably get in there and generate his own Earth Shatter as well. So Team Liquid, here we go, never mind. FaZe is going to break out the Nano Boom.
He's going to get the bubble right away, but look at that bubble that came out from ID to keep his support alive, to keep Dehang in it, and that Nano Blade does absolutely nothing for FaZe, and they're still going to fight it out for the point. FaZe needs to make this happen right here, though, or they are going to go down 2-0 on Nepal. Fact Fiction dies. Both Reinhardts are actually out of the fight for these teams, as ID is able to get a couple of nice kills for himself, and it'll be 2 down apiece. Shadowburn is still in the middle of everything on the point. Too easy, gets Rafa and AZK. Finally, FaZe will be able to get this point back, but can they hold on to it? That's really the question here, is Too Easy's desperately trying to stay alive. Well, ID does get finished off. Shadowburn, he barely stays alive himself. So FaZe, they're hanging on, but just barely.
It's a risky sleep dart at the end from Raucus with a reflect up already.
Yeah, really. Screw it.
FaZe holding, they will have an Earth Shatter. They have a good position to generate a lot more ultimates, in particular the Nano Boost. Liquid coming in with nothing online already, but a Sound Barrier is pretty much inevitable in this fight unless he gets taken down relatively quickly. And Mezer probably going to looking for a big Earth Shatter in this, but this is probably going to be maybe the last contest, and that Earth Shatter might not be enough from Factor Fiction.
He did get 1 down on it. It was only the Diva, though, so it's not really what you're looking for in that scenario. But Liquid lost AZK pretty early, and Mezer now is going to get a Nano Boost. The charge not quite connecting, but Minstrel and Rafa are going to connect on the people they were trying to kill. Shadowburn using his Dragon Blade. Can he do anything with it? Dehang says absolutely not. And it's not looking good for FaZe at the moment. Well, they're at 93% FaZe, but Liquid has control of the point, and Mezer is doing all the cleanup that he needs, and no one from FaZe is around to touch the point, and Team Liquid, they're up 2-0. Just cruising at the moment, though. That stage a bit closer.
Yeah, FaZe definitely putting up a much better fight on stage 2, but now we're going to go into stage 3, which I don't know if I'd necessarily call that a good map for Genji.
Yeah, I don't know if I would either. I don't know, at this point, do you switch Shadowburn off of the Genji? I mean, they haven't really seemed, it's not working for them at the moment. I mean, is this the point in time where you say, well, try something different? I mean,
Well, a good stage for Genji versus a good stage for Shadowburn's Genji are a little bit different things, and I have seen him make it work on this stage in the past, so I wouldn't write it out. And if that's what the team is comfortable with, then just go for it. It's no sense in rocking the boat if other things don't work out quite so well. And like we mentioned before, the high ping could be a bit of an issue.
That's absolutely true.
Is it?
It's certainly, yeah.
There's no,
I was going to say, it certainly isn't making it any easier for him. But here we go. FaZe is going to have to win this stage. It is a best of 5 for our control points maps here. And the big charge from Meza right away gets the bubble, immediately deleting Shadowburn from the server. He'll be put back in to the respawn himself. So with that one pick, FaZe, or actually Liquid, are the ones that Liquid should easily be able to take control of the point. And FaZe dropping a couple guys and start to regroup here. And no ultimates up yet, but Zomz actually was able to generate quite a bit towards his Graviton. He's already at 82%. ID on the other side of the coin here on Liquid, sitting at 40.
Yeah, Graviton pretty early in a fight is definitely something that's going to cause a gigantic problem for Liquid if FaZe can get it out in time before that sound barrier comes online in particular. But counter charge and a big whiff from Mezer, but he's going to follow it up with a nano boosted Reinhardt either way, and FaZe is going to have to back off. 3 down, 4 down for FaZe, and Team Liquid going to keep holding on to the point here for this battle. FaZe is going to have to come back from spawn and try again.
Despite the whiff, Mezer still made things happen alongside of Rafa. They were leading the charge up there and found a lot of kills to allow Liquid to stay in control here. FaZe does have the Graviton, and they're going to have the Dragon Blade and the Nano Boost, so they should be able to retake off of this FaZe. If they don't, then there's something wrong, because they are going to use that Nano Blade going in his Shadowburn. He hasn't gotten really a whole lot of value out of his Nano Blades thus far in this series, and again, he doesn't even get any kills with it. There's going to be a self-destruct, a lot of trading back and forth. It's 3 for 3, and FaZe actually only has 2 guys left up. It's Raucus and Forsaken, the supports, and they're certainly not going to be able to do enough to take this point from Liquid. And again, FaZe just not getting value out of their ultimates. Shadowburn, I think he's not many kills at all with his Dragon Blades today.
In that last portion, though, I'm really curious as exactly why that one came out at that point, because there's one battle left, and having it on Rafa for this would be a huge asset, but double Gravitons coming out on the high ground.
Well, here we go. And Liquid looking like they are going to take this map. They are still cruising. Raucus got AZK, and FaZe are starting to work their way onto the point here, so we'll see. They're going to have to get it right here and right now, but Fact Fiction getting sent down into the pit. ID is going to get sent for a ride as well, all thanks to Forsaken. FaZe have managed to find 4 kills in total here, so maybe enough for them to take this point back. And Rafa's just going to go for the reset. Wise of him to do so. So with 99%, FaZe do get the point back, but they have a long road if they want to take this stage.
That was a very close battle. It changed hands a little bit back and forth. FaZe did start out with the upper hand, getting the first pick, I believe. So Liquid, though, they're already at 99. FaZe just starting to generate some of their first points here. So Liquid's just going to sit back, start it all over again. They only have to take the point back once.
Here we go. Oh my goodness, Shadowburn put to sleep in the middle of his Nano Blade, and he gets the Biotic Grenade sent on top of him as well. They woke him up, but it didn't matter. That Biotic was on him. What a hook from AZK. Forsaken getting pummeled, and now it is Liquid that I have all the opportunity in the world to retake this point. There will be a self-destruct on it. That is certain death for FaZe Clan, as they have no one else around to prevent Liquid from taking this point, and that should just about do it, at least for this map. Shadowburn's going to come in and try and... Well, actually got hooked in, you're right. I thought he dashed for a second, but no, it was actually just AZK rocking his world a little bit. So there you have it. Some domination coming out from Liquid, to be honest. This is probably a better one for FaZe in general, Gibraltar, but I'm feeling pretty confident in the way Liquid is playing at the moment. But
I agree. AZK stepping up, hitting a lot of hooks. Mezer always a force to be reckoned with. Rafa, I don't think we can talk enough about how well Rafa plays D.Va.
Oh yeah, he's excellent. I mean, he's able to pick up all the kills. He gets cleanups. He initiates really well for Liquid, and is just a nuisance for the other team to deal with, and a pain in their side, and is quite good.
And the way that he works in concert with Mezzer to make sure the shield war is almost always won on the side of Liquid, at least against FaZe so far, has been a pretty big factor, especially in that last stage of Nepal.
So it will be FaZe on the offensive side first, and Liquid will be on the defense. We'll see what FaZe wants to go with. Shadowburn still hasn't picked yet. I think they're kind of debating between do we put you on D.Va or do we put you on Genji? It's kind of the decision. It looks like he will be playing D.Va, at least to start off, and I think it's worth a shot for FaZe because the Genji really was not working too much for them throughout Nepal, so we'll see how D.Va works for him instead. Generally him playing Genji, Shadowburn, is kind of what you want from FaZe, but the Liquid's done a good job of shutting it down, and well,
if he's not feeling, he's not feeling it. Switch him to D.Va and see what happens. Oftentimes, a player just changing a hero can bring out a different kind of performance from
That's
him.
right.
FaZe getting around this first bend of Gibraltar, or rather not getting around this first bend of Gibraltar right now, as Team Liquid just keeps pouring it on.
Yeah, they are coming down to meet them on this kind of this lower ground in the underpass.
Oh.
And Rafa was actually kept inside of his mech. What a freaking biotic grenade coming out from Dahang. That was actually beautiful. Here's an Earth Shatter though coming through. On the side of FaZe. Fact Fiction laid it down, and that will allow them to open it up. AZK and Mezzer both out of it to hang as well. Certainly FaZe will win this fight. They have won this fight, and should be able to maybe pick up this first point, and Too Easy's going to move forward just to make sure to apply a little bit of pressure so these guys aren't able to make it back and contest. And FaZe starting off this map pretty strong so far, capping off that first point quickly.
Yeah, definitely not too long here. 5 minutes left on the clock. FaZe working with 3 ultimates for almost 5 already. Mezzer getting pulled in by Too Easy. Mezzer trying to back up. A whole hog coming out of Too Easy. That's a little bit of uncharacteristic whole hog use for him.
They're just gonna pop it off. Zoms did go down. And Mezzer wants to come forward. He has his Earth Shatter ready to go. He's gonna charge Too Easy into a wall. Here is the Graviton as well for Liquid. They're gonna combine everybody onto that. Get all the players inside of it, and Mezzer swinging away alongside AZK. Just pumping the damage into all those guys. And Shadowburn, they're actually going to leave out of his mech. That's just mean. That is just mean from the side of Liquid. But they're going to go get the high ground, which is what you want to see. That high ground control, of course, very important. And Liquid, they'll have a few ults to work with here.
Honestly, the Bunny Blaster isn't bad anyway, so...
Yeah, you can, you can shred people with that thing, man.
Yeah. And here comes AZK with a nano-boosted whole hog, pushing back FaZe Clan.
Shield came up just in time for that Earth Shatter that came out from Fact Fiction. It will do absolutely 0. And it is AZK. He was able to get a couple for himself as he did get the nano-boosted whole hog. Team Liquid still holding on, only using a couple of ultimates in that fight as well. And FaZe will have the nano boost and the sound barrier for the next fight, and Zoms has got that Graviton, which could really be the big one for FaZe going into the next fight.
And the only thing Team Liquid's holding on to, and is even relatively close to, is Minstrel Sound Barrier. That will be coming out when Zoms lays down a Graviton, more likely than not, but if they're able to pressure him and force it out early, that could be a big problem.
Here they go, laying it down. There's going to be a self-destruct from Shadowburn as well. What can it find? Just Rafa so far, but it will open it up enough for FaZe to continue moving this card forward, as Mezzer also fell to Zoms right after that as he got caught all over the payload, and now the Earth Shatter out from Fact Fiction will allow the rest of the FaZe members to get these guys from Liquid that were on the ground. So we'll see what Liquid, if they're going to be able to get back out for one last hold. They are certainly starting to move up. Mezzer's ready to lead the charge. He does have his Earth Shatter at the ready. Someone's got to stand on that payload, though. They do get there just in time. Rafa does get the nano boost as he is just, well, trying to find targets at the moment. Mezzer, though, finds 2 for himself. Rafa hunting down Raucus, who was hiding up top there. So now it will be Liquid holding on to this point for now. Still 2 minutes and 25 seconds for FaZe, though Forsaken going down quite late. I'm not sure where he was hiding, but he will be able to hold on here for now.
And at least one positive side effect from the cart being pushed so far for Liquid is it's going to be out of the way. It won't be cover or healing for FaZe Clan until they get to it. So, especially on Gibraltar with so much of this choke and so much high ground, Team Liquid should be able to abuse some of that in order to keep FaZe Clan from getting there too quickly. Team Liquid holding on with 3 ultimates at the moment. Factor Fiction trying to buy that. A little bit of space underneath the bridge. Shadowburn going to knock off almost all of Team Liquid.
That's good D.Va play right there, initiating for FaZe Clan and getting all those players off of the high ground. There is a self-destruct. Rafa gets us started as he finds Forsaken with that, and there will be a nano boost coming out here. Mezer getting put to sleep, though, quickly woken back up. But Shadowburn still going off with his nano boost there, and there is a self-destruct coming on in from him, but it will find nothing, and now Mezer getting the nano boost. This is dangerous for FaZe as he just walks forward. He didn't actually get the nano boost in the most prime of positions. He was very far back, and all the FaZe members were pretty much more towards their own spawn, so he didn't get to quite do anything with it, but a minute 10 now for FaZe.
Dang, perhaps popping that off a little bit fruitlessly. FaZe Clan, let's call it 4 ultimates on the table. Factor Fiction is definitely going to get this one in this next fight. I mean, obviously it's better to start one with off, but hold on, not hold that thought. Graviton coming out on the side of FaZe Clan.
Ooh, with Biotic lands on there too. Mezer is entire straight. Shadowburn finishes him off, and this might be enough for FaZe to come in here, though. They do get sucked up inside of the Graviton. Oh, and Rafa gets the shield just in time. Too easy put to sleep and then cleaned up on. So ID's still in the middle here on the payload and keeping Liquid in this fight, and between him and Rafa, I think they might shut FaZe down here. Fact Fiction he's still in, and he'll go down pretty late, so FaZe will have one more shot at this one, but they're going to have to move quick, and they don't really have any ultimates to work with.
That hook looking like it had to pop into neutral and change gears before it came in.
Well,
Team Liquid with 4 ultimates on their side. It's going to be lost on most people. Everyone drives automatic these days. Yeah. FaZe Clan with a nano boost and a whole hog, and that's pretty much it. But 3 seconds left on the clock. FaZe Clan is in contest on the payload, and self-destruct coming out from Team Liquid.
There is that self-destruct. Zom's going down now. Really, it's not looking good for FaZe. There's the nano boost onto Mezer. Between him and Rafa, they are just shredding through them. A full team wipe, except for Shadowburn, who's here. I mean, the self-destruct's going to go down, but oh, Minstrel, how'd you die to that, buddy? But either way, Liquid just, I mean, what
it's irrelevant. Yeah. It's irrelevant at that point. He's probably waved at it. Hi.
Yeah, see ya. Man, that was some good stuff coming out from Liquid. A solid defense. FaZe started the map beautifully, but in the end, as we've seen so many teams struggle on this map through the hangar phase the past few days, no one can get through it, it seems, in a fast time. It always takes quite a while if they even make it through.
Yeah, I mean, with so much of the tanks, and you see a lot of teams that do better on it are packing more hit scan, perhaps bringing Soldier 76. Kungarna was doing pretty well on the second stage, and they almost always have Baby Bay up there with Soldier 76. There's so much high ground, there's so much distance, there's so much cover, that being able to soak everybody coming in with something as strong as Soldier 76 really slows it down. But if you're packing mostly tanks, then, I mean, you're kind of losing a lot of the advantage.
And
that's from the defensive side, at least, right?
Yeah.
You know, on offense, it's the same thing in the other direction. If people are on the high ground and you've got a Soldier 76, at least there's a chance you can press him backwards. Now, if they're 4 tanks, it's a little bit different. But if everybody drops down in that middle, a Soldier 76 up on the ramparts firing down is just absolutely vicious, especially on the first point as well.
Well, he's just free reign, really. I mean, said unless D.Va gets up there, he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
And I think that's why most of the time you don't see it so much. People just fly the D.Va directly into their face in order to shut it down. But I'm not necessarily convinced that that's a bad thing. I mean, you're pulling a D.Va out of a fight for Soldier 76, not another D.Va, which leaves your D.Va, if you're bringing one, into the shield war. And pretty much all Soldier 76 has to do is sprint away, soak up time, and if D.Va ever flies away from him, he can helix in the back of the head. But, you know, perhaps that whole scenario plays out differently in practice than I think it does.
Well, that's the big thing, though, in that scenario. Soldier's just got to make sure he can keep himself alive because, you know, D.Va can take him to town.
She can do a lot, but he's got sprint.
Yeah,
he
can get away.
Heal station and everything. Liquid, now their turn on assault. They only have to basically push it to cap the second point, we'll call it. I mean, it's right there. I think Team Liquid can do it.
Yeah, I do as well. I think they're feeling pretty good after such a strong defense from them, and now FaZe is going to have to try and get something going themselves. As Rock is sitting all the way back up on this high ground, as the Ana players do. All the way back and getting that biotic just for a little bit of extra stall on Liquid and getting some of that alt charge built up as well. So actually getting a sleep through onto Mezzer. Did get shielded, and he will now charge all the way back there. The biotic lands on Zombs, who got charged all the way through. So he will be able to stay alive, and Mezzer falls in the end. He didn't really have the follow-up from the rest of his team, I don't think, to keep him alive. And now it will have to be Liquid going back to the drawing board to regroup here, as AZK is getting chased down, though.
I was going to say,
alive.
What team? AZK was up there pretty much alone at that point.
I think everybody else just ran away there. As soon as Mezzer charged, it was like, well, have fun.
Both Anas already online with their nano boosts. FaZe Clan getting pretty close to a sound barrier and Earth Shatter. And Team Liquid moments away from their own Earth Shatter, probably. Mezzer, he can generate 20%, no time.
Here comes a nano boost to hang narrowly, missing that charge from Fact Fiction, and he uses Earth Shatter, finds Minstrel, and just dealing damage to everybody on Liquid. They're 3 players down, and Fact Fiction wants a little bit more. He wants Mezzer, man. He's chasing him. He gets the fire strike. That boy's hungry. He wanted a little bit
extra
more
charge for the next fight.
Yep.
4 ultimates online for Team Liquid as they push into the first point. They are behind in time from FaZe Clan at this point, but as we've seen a number of times, that is not everything in a payload match. It certainly matters. FaZe Clan holding on to 4 of their own ultimates. They have a bang combo, sound barrier, a whole hog, while Team Liquid, not quite a bang combo yet.
Zombs is going to use that Graviton Surge. Too easy, got the whole hog coming out. There's all sorts of ultimate. Shadow Burn with the self-destruct, though, will pretty much give FaZe this team fight win, as Mezzer and AZK are both down. Liquid good to not really use any of their ults there, except AZK using the whole hog. But besides that, they didn't use anything else, and they'll be able to come back in with pretty much 5 ultimates in total. And AZK is actually going to switch to Tracer. FaZe used a lot of decent bit of ultimates in that fight, and a clear ultimate advantage now for Liquid.
Indeed, they're basically online with that Graviton, and that's going to come in big. A nano boost landing on Mezzer, and he is going to get slept.
Oh man, that is really disappointing for Liquid, because he could have wreaked havoc on them. AZK gets us started, though. He takes down Too Easy, and now it will be FaZe responding with a couple of their own, though. Self-destruct landing in the middle of it, coming out from Rappa, and Mezzer and AZK will start to bring Liquid back into this fight, but you still have Shadow Burn on the cart, installing as long as he can, trying to hunt down the Hang, and he's able to do so. And now Shadow Burn going at it with AZK. He does finish him off, but going all the way back towards the Liquid spawn is Fact Fiction, as he just charged through with the nano boost. But now AZK is just going to come back, meet up with the rest of the team, and
3 ultimates burned for Liquid. They've only got, well, they do have 1 bang combo or bomb combo, a pulse bomb, and a Graviton on their side. FaZe Clan down on all ultimates. 12 seconds left. This is the time for Liquid, or they're going to give up this map.
And it's such an advantage in ultimates, too. I'm surprised it didn't work out for them. They will have that combo, though. As you said, they have the pulse bomb. There will be, the shield coming through is beautiful from ID, or from Zombs, excuse me. But here we go. Liquid still scrapping on this card. They have found a few kills for themselves. Earth Shatter coming through from Mezzer. That just may be enough. There is going to be a self-destruct down from Shadow Burn. It's not going to do anything, though. And Liquid in the dying seconds should be able to finish this one off. Too Easy, still causing a bit of disturbance, delaying the cart. But Liquid do cap the point and get a couple more minutes onto the board. But the FaZe first point defense there was looking very solid.
It's going to be really important for Liquid to step up as quickly as possible and take this shuttle away with the lineup they're bringing. But AZK is going to test it a little bit, and it looks like most of FaZe Clan is already back, so any sort of time that was there, if there was any at all, probably not, is gone. Team Liquid pushing into the second point. They do have 2 minutes to cap it all the way.
Fact Fiction getting put to sleep, coming back up, but it's at about half health. There's another pulse bomb out from Too Easy. Didn't quite connect onto anything, but still FaZe are finding all the frags here. ID and Mezzer taken out of it, so surely FaZe to come out on top of this fight. As Liquid now just going to regroup back in spawn, and both teams have that Tracer running. And Besides that, pretty much standard across the board. AZK's got the Pulse Bomb, and then you do have a Nano Boost just about to be up for Dehang, and a Sound Barrier soon coming up for Liquid as well, but you also have one about to come up for FaZe as well. Raucus does have the Nano Boost for himself, and actually Zom's getting knocked off the roof there. AZK does get one. AZK with two for himself, getting two easy and Forsaken. So Liquid with a very good opportunity now to possibly finish this one off as they're moving the cart quite a bit. AZK is going off and dealing the damage. And it's just Fact Fiction who's up top, pretty much all by himself, I believe that is. There are FaZe Clan players coming back in, trying to fight it out on this card. The Sound Barrier will initiate for themselves, but an Earth Shatter coming down, the Pulse Bomb. AZK getting both of those, and there is a self-destruct on the point, but no one around from FaZe.